Welcome back to Rise and Thrive. I'm Emma Sullivan, and today we're talking about why your 3-year-old niece is smarter than you. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm David Park, and I refuse to accept that a toddler who eats crayons is smarter than me.
But she is in certain ways. We're diving into why adults lose the beginner's mind and why that's actually terrible for our wellness. Spoiler alert, we need to learn how to think like kids again.
Think like kids? You mean throw tantrums at the grocery store?
Different kind of thinking. There's this psychologist, Alison Gopnik, who studies child development, and she makes this wild argument. Children aren't just defective adults. They're a different form of human.
A different form of human, like a different species.
Kind of. Evolutionarily, you've got two creatures. One designed to explore, to learn, to change. That's the child form. And one designed to exploit, to find resources, make plans, get stuff done. That's the adult.
So kids are explorers and adults are exploiters. That sounds kind of harsh.
It's computer science language. Explore versus exploit. And here's the thing. Those two different agendas come with really different kinds of consciousness, like fundamentally different ways of experiencing the world.
Wait, my consciousness is different from a child's consciousness.
Totally different. Think about it. Your agenda as an adult is get the next thing done, figure out how to do it, what's next after that. Kids' agenda: extract as much information as possible from everything.
That's why they touch everything and put everything in their mouths.
Exactly. They're information vacuums. Now here's the wild part. There are these two types of consciousness: spotlight consciousness and lantern consciousness. Guess which one you have?
Based on your tone, I'm guessing the bad one.
Not bad, just limited. Spotlight consciousness is like attention as a spotlight. It comes in, illuminates the thing you want to find out about. You don't see things on the other side. Very focused, very narrow.
And kids have the lantern?
Yes! Lantern consciousness means you're taking in information from everything around you all at once. Not focused on one thing, but aware of all the things. Every stimulus is potentially interesting.
That sounds exhausting, but also kind of amazing.
It is both. Here's the comparison. Spotlight consciousness is you sitting in your chair trying to focus on your work, getting distracted, mind wandering, trying to get back to the task. Very goal-directed, very me-focused.
That's literally my entire workday described.
Right. But lantern consciousness is when you're completely absorbed in a great movie. Your self is gone. You're not deciding what to pay attention to. Everything is just illuminated and captivating all at once.
Oh, so I do experience lantern consciousness sometimes?
Sometimes. But kids are in lantern mode basically all the time. That's their default state. And here's what's fascinating. If you define intelligence as the ability to learn fast and flexibly, a 2-year-old is more intelligent than you right now.
Okay, that physically hurts to hear. More intelligent?
You have more knowledge, more experience, more ability to exploit existing learning. But they have more capacity, more flexibility, more changeability. That's a different kind of smart.
So there's a trade-off. I can get to the kitchen without stopping. They can learn new things faster.
Perfect example. And this is the explore-exploit trade-off. It's mathematically impossible to optimize both exploring many options and efficiently committing to one option at the same time. They're in deep tension.
So evolution made kids the explorers and adults the exploiters.
Exactly. Give the system a chance to explore first, figure out all the information, then exploit later. That's why we have this really long childhood. We're learning and exploring for like 18 years.
Some of us are still exploring in our 30s. Just saying.
Which might not be a bad thing. But here's what happens in the brain. Young brains make many new connections, tons of synapses, lots of plasticity. They can change really easily, but they're terrible at getting dressed and out the door.
Can't explore if you're efficient at mundane tasks. Got it.
Then adult brains. The connections that work well get strengthened and efficient. The ones that don't, pruned. So you get longer, more efficient connections, but less changeability. You're optimized for doing, not learning.
My brain literally cut off its own learning capacity to get better at doing my taxes.
Basically. And the prefrontal cortex, the executive office of your brain, gets more control as you age. It can shut down distractions, control impulses, focus attention. Sounds good, right?
Sounds very productive and adult.
But it also means you lose that open, exploratory state. Kids have much less frontal control. Different parts of their brain are doing their own thing, like an octopus with 8 brains in its tentacles, all exploring independently.
I'm an octopus brain that got too organized. This metaphor is getting weird.
It is weird, but accurate. Now let's talk about play, because play is where this all comes together. Play is what you do when you're not working. It's exploration without immediate goals.
And kids play constantly while adults barely play at all.
Yes. Across all animal species, it's the young ones playing. And here's why. Play is another form of exploration. You're not visually taking in information. You're doing things to explore possibilities.
So play is like active learning versus passive observation.
Exactly. And play is fun. There's a certain happiness and joy that comes with being in that exploratory state. But here's the problem with adults. If you think about play in terms of long-term benefits, it isn't play anymore.
Oh no, I optimize my hobbies for personal development outcomes.
Then they're not play. If you say, I'll play more to be more resilient, and now I'm designing you to do this thing well, you're not playing. You've turned play into work.
Everything I touch becomes work. This is depressing.
But here's the hope. Studies on preschool show that kids who had play-based learning weren't necessarily better on standardized tests 3 years later. But 30 years later? Not in prison, better health, higher salaries.
Play now, don't go to prison later. That's a good trade-off.
Right, because play gives you robustness and resilience, the ability to deal with unexpected challenges, not specific outcomes, but adaptability. And we've completely lost that as adults.
So how do I get it back? How do I think like a kid again?
Great question. First, practice lantern consciousness. Stop trying to focus so hard all the time. Go for a walk, and instead of thinking about your to-do list, try to notice everything. Every sound, every sight, every sensation.
So like mindfulness, but more expansive, not more focused.
Yes, open awareness instead of pointed focus. Let your attention be like a lantern illuminating everything at once instead of a spotlight on one thing. This is actually a form of meditation.
I can do that. What else?
Second, walk with a child if you can, or imagine you're walking with William Blake. A 2-year-old going to get milk sees everything. Dogs, gates, pizza flyers, plants, airplanes. The walk is amazing.
Adults just habituate and stop noticing. We're on autopilot.
Exactly. That 3-block walk becomes invisible to us, but to a kid it's an adventure. So walk your normal route, but pretend you're seeing it for the first time. What would a child notice that you're missing?
Beginner's mind on my commute. I like it.
Third, play without goals. Do something just because it's interesting or fun. Not to get better at it. Not to achieve anything. Just to explore possibilities. Build with Lego, doodle, make up songs, whatever.
Play without optimizing for outcomes. That's going to be hard.
It is hard because you've trained yourself to be productive, but that's exactly why you need it. Play is about robustness in the face of different environments. It's about dealing with something new or unexpected.
So play makes me more adaptable, even if it doesn't make me better at any specific thing.
Exactly. Fourth, try something completely new that you're bad at. Learn an instrument, try a sport, speak a language. Being a beginner at something puts you back in that childlike state of exploration.
Be deliberately incompetent at something. I can do that.
Yes, because when you're an expert, you're exploiting. When you're a beginner, you're exploring. And that exploration state is where the learning and flexibility happens. Fifth, travel to new places.
Travel puts you in beginner's mind automatically.
It does. Being somewhere you haven't been before, where you don't know the rules, where everything is unfamiliar, that naturally puts you in that exploratory lantern consciousness state. You're absorbing everything.
So the wellness benefit of travel isn't just relaxation, it's consciousness shifting.
Yes. Sixth, watch great movies or read great books. Not productivity books. Fiction, fantasy, stuff that completely absorbs you. When you're absorbed in a story, your spotlight consciousness shuts down and you enter a different state.
So reading science fiction is actually a wellness practice.
It is. It's adult imaginative play. Same function as pretend play in kids. You're exploring possibilities. Seventh, reduce your goal-oriented activities. You don't have to optimize everything.
But I like optimizing. It makes me feel productive.
And it's killing your flexibility. There's an intrinsic tension between how much you know and how open you are to new possibilities. The more you know, the more you rely on that knowledge and discount new information.
So expertise makes me closed-minded by definition.
Not closed-minded, but less plastic. Less able to change. That's the trade-off. You get efficiency but lose flexibility. So you need to intentionally create space for the beginner's mind.
Create inefficiency on purpose to maintain learning capacity.
Yes! Eighth, practice being bad at something in public. Kids have no shame about being beginners. They'll try anything. But adults, we're terrified of looking incompetent. That fear keeps us from exploring,
So I should take up salsa dancing even though I'll look ridiculous.
especially because you'll look ridiculous. That embarrassment is you pushing through the adult need to look competent. Kids don't have that. They're just exploring. Be like them.
Embracing competence as a path to wisdom. That's counterintuitive.
But true. Here's your homework. This week, do 3 things. 1, take a familiar walk but notice it with beginner's mind. Everything like it's your first time. 2, play for 20 minutes with no goal.
20 minutes of goalless play. That's actually terrifying.
I know, but do it. Doodle, build something, make up a story, whatever. Just explore possibilities without trying to achieve anything. 3, try one new thing you'll be bad at, even for 5 minutes.
1 walk, 20 minutes of play, 1 new incompetence. I can do this.
You can, and notice how it feels. Notice if your consciousness shifts. If you feel more open, more curious, less goal-driven. That's your beginner's mind coming back online.
So the wellness benefit is I become more flexible and adaptable, even if I become less efficient.
Yes, and honestly, in a rapidly changing world, flexibility and adaptability are more valuable than efficiency at one narrow thing. Kids understand this intuitively. Time for adults to relearn it.
This podcast is powered by voxcrea.ai, where ideas find their voice. Even ideas about thinking like children to become better adults.
Until next time, remember that your 3-year-old niece is smarter than you in important ways. Learn from her. Get your beginner's mind back. Switch from spotlight to lantern. And for the love of everything, play.